There's a big list of fan favourite stories from the classic era of Doctor Who, titles like Genesis of the Daleks, The Caves of Androzani, Spearhead from Space, Remembrance of the Daleks, The Pyramids of Mars, and so on. Now, I love all of these stories, but my favourite story from the classic era isn't one that tends to make the top lists very often. The story that stands out for me is The Curse of Fenric, and not just as a high point of the Seventh Doctor's tenure, but as a pivotal moment that anticipates the emotional complexity of what the show was to become after the 2005 revival. Beyond this atmospheric setting and genuinely creepy villains, it's also an exploration into belief and identity in childhood trauma and the consequences of manipulation. Set during World War II, the story weaves together science fiction, Norse mythology, and Lovecraftian horror. But its darkest thread is what it demands of its characters, especially Ace. This is unmistakably her story, and her challenges that she has to face in this episode go far beyond typical companion peril. Here, the cruelty is intimate and insidious. Fenric manipulates her into orchestrating the very future that will lead to her own childhood abuse. By saving baby Audrey, her future mother, Ace unknowingly preserves the cycle of pain that lies at the root of many of her fears, resentments, and emotional defences. It's a haunting form of retroactive complicity, an emotional paradox that we haven't really seen any other companion face the likes of before. I've always considered Ghostlight, The Curse of Fenric, and Survival to function collectively as an informal Ace trilogy, each delving into different facets of her character and background and psychological development. And while Ghostlight and Survival explore these elements more peripherally, using Ace's inner conflicts to complement a broader narrative, The Curse of Fenric stands apart in its structure and focus. Unlike the others, it positions Ace not as a secondary element to support the plot, but at its very centre. The narrative is constructed around her, making her personal journey integral to the plot's progression and resolution. This story represents a significant evolution in companion characterisation. Her acceptance of the love she feels for the infant, who will then grow up to be the mother she despises, reflects a complex negotiation of identity and trauma, marking a rare moment in classic Doctor Who, where the companion is treated as a psychologically nuanced character rather than just a narrative accessory. At a thematic level, The Curse of Fenric is a meditation on faith, and not just religious faith, but faith in people, in ideals, faith in oneself. Characters are protected from the vampiric hemovores, not by crosses or religious dogma, but by conviction. Reverend Wainwright loses his protective power when he loses faith in humanity. Conversely, Ace's faith in the Doctor becomes his undoing. He's forced to shatter Ace's faith in him because it's the only way to defeat Fenric. Her belief acts as a psychic shield, holding the Ancient One back when he intends to kill Fenric. Here, Ace's faith becomes a vulnerability, and to break it, the Doctor coldly insults her, stating that he wouldn't waste his time on her unless he had to use her somehow. It's a calculated betrayal, and though it's done for the greater good, the emotional cost is real. In that moment, Doctor Who confronts the dark side of trust, the way trust can empower, but can also be weaponized or destroyed. This idea that faith is both a weapon and a weakness is a subversive concept. It interrogates the very mechanisms by which we believe in others, in institutions, in ourselves. In the broader context of Doctor Who, it complicates the traditional dynamic between the Doctor and companion. Trust becomes both a strength and a liability. In this way, The Curse of Fenric quietly dismantles the mythology of the infallible Doctor. It suggests that even the Time Lord's most noble qualities, his belief in people, his emotional investment, can be turned against him. And this moral ambiguity foreshadows the revived series' more critical examination of the Doctor, a character who has a moral complexity and is sometimes a dangerous figure. Ultimately, The Curse of Fenric stands out for me because it achieves something rare in classic Doctor Who. It gives equal weight to character and theme. It elevates Ace beyond the constraints of the simple companion role, engages with complex ideas and themes, and sets the stage for what Doctor Who would become, a show invested in human emotion and identity as much as it is in aliens and time travel.